Nobody's been very nice to me.
Yeah, well, welcome to New York.
Thank you.
Do you sing in real life?
No, thank God. No, we spare the audience that.
But like, at home when you're cooking?
No,
never.
never.
Really?
Never.
Ever?
Ever.
Why?
I just didn't, I'm not a singer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But you kind of did sing in the film. There was a little moment where we did get to hear
I sort
a
of
bit
speak
Dempsey.
it a little bit, yes.
Yeah. Was that nerve-wracking for you?
Yeah, I
or?
didn't even want to do that.
Really?
No. I had more fun doing the dancing and the dance numbers, and watching Amy do her thing was really fun.
So here we have this movie where you're kind of like the straight man to everybody's
Right.
crazy, you know, to kind of work in an environment where everybody's all about the fairy tales and things like that. I don't know, what do you think about this whole Disney-fication of how we, you know, Happy Ever After and all that kind of stuff?
I loved it. I thought it was a really interesting concept and a great sort of take on the genre, and certainly with the animation. And this is the old school hand-drawn animation, which took a long time, but it looks really beautiful. And in combining all the Disney characters into these two characters with the prince and the princess, and poking fun at it at the same time was great. It was fresh and really enjoyable to do.
Oh, working with Amy.
Phenomenal.
She seems like she's a hoot. I don't know.
She's really funny. She's got a great sense of humor, very playful, and I had a great time watching her work, you know.
This film is interesting also because it incorporates all these elements that Disney has kind of built up over the years, animation, real life, and then also a bit of CGI thrown in also.
Sure.
To kind of work in a film that's almost kind of reinventing the wheel, was that one of the reasons why you wanted to be a part of it?
Oh, certainly, certainly. And I remember going in and meeting Kevin, you know, and seeing what his take was on the animation and the style in which he was going to proceed, and I thought that was really interesting and fun, and certainly, you know, being a parent, you go see all these movies, so it was nice to go see something that was fresh and not something predictable, and I think, you know, Amy does a phenomenal job bringing the princess to life with a lot of heart and humor, and the singing numbers are phenomenal with, you know, the choreographer who did Moulin Rouge and Strictly Ballroom. It makes the movie really quite special when the dance numbers happen.
It must feel kind of cool. I don't know if you have nieces and nephews, but like, you know, your cool factor must be raised higher now that you're part of a Disney film.
Well, I have access to the princess, which makes me very desirable. It was funny because my daughter wanted to come just to hang out with the princess today and see the chipmunks. The chipmunk doing the interviews as well. I'm like, I don't think so. So that's great. You know, it's fun, and you know, it's nice too that the adults like it as well. It's a good date movie. On top of that,
when you were shooting, did you bring her to the set to kind of?
Yeah, I did. Certainly when we had all the big dance numbers and things like that, so she could hang out. And I remember seeing her up in the, you know, up in the balcony watching with other little girls and things like that, and they were all running around, and everybody had their kids there. So it was, you know, it's really special to be able to have that opportunity.
Would Amy talk to her in princess voice, or?
Oh, she would take her around. Amy's amazing with kids.
Okay.
She took care of all the children really well. And they would just follow her around like the Pied Piper. It was really special.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You should use her for like babysitting gigs. Like, come on over.
Come
Here's
on
a
over.
dress, you know?
It's date night. Here you go. We're out of here.
So obviously your schedule must be kind of crazy at the moment, television and filming. How did you break? You know, was this done during a break, or is this kind of?
It was done I think 2 years ago now. During the break between, I wrapped one day on Grey's Anatomy and immediately went right into the movie, and then as soon as I wrapped the movie, went right back into Grey's.
Was there a lot of preparation for this role then, or did you feel like?
It was hard. I was playing catch up through most of the movie, quite honestly, and you know, the dancing and all that stuff we'd practice during the weekends and things like that. So it was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun.
You kind of shot in my neighborhood. I live kind of close to the Tribeca area, so,
right.
So you guys were always shooting way too many lights in my window and stuff like that.
What
was it like shooting in New York City and kind of being on set and doing? You know?
Certainly when you're shooting in the park and you're doing these big scenes that are, you know, it's like an old-fashioned musical, you really start to see and feel how special the movie is, and also what a character New York City is, and to be able to shoot there and to see the people and feel the energy of that city was really special. I mean, one of the great moments was David Bowie walking through the shot. There's a scene where we go into the park for the first time, and I'm talking to Amy's character about, you know, you don't marry someone right after you meet them. And I look up, and both she and I are like, that's David Bowie. I was like, that was the coolest New York moment. It's like, we need him. He should have been in the movie as well.
Did you have to cut him out of the film, or was
No, he just was walking through. He was just going for a walk with a friend of his.
Did you talk to him? Was that even like?
No, we were just so, you know, awestruck
awesome.
that David Bowie had walked through this big, you know, extravaganza.
Bowie is part of the New York kind of
the scene, right? Yeah. So that's the great thing about the cities. You never know who you're going to run into.
How, you know, obviously you have a daughter, and so, you know, what kind of lessons do you teach her in terms of like You know, is it?
Well, it's interesting. Robert, my character, doesn't believe in fairy tales.
Right.
He doesn't believe in happy ever after. That life is far too difficult, and I think that's true. But you have to also believe that there's a little bit of magic in life, and sometimes if you allow yourself to be open to it, it will come to you. And I think that's the message of the movie, and that's certainly what you want to sort of allow your children to feel as well.
Has she seen the final cut yet, or is it?
Yeah, she did.
And
She loves the chipmunk and the dancing. And the princess, of course, and the dress. Where can she get the dress?
and
I'm sure Disney's making dresses as we speak, and you can get them
the
online.
Enchanted collection.
Right. I think Vera Wang's got the princess collection or something like that. There's like some kind of thing going on with it.
Right. You should get in.
But that's part of it. I think you know, in the princess thing, it's about a princess who has power too. She is her own woman, and not looking for her identity through a man, but she finds it through herself, and I think that's an important message.